What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescast, now episode 87, topic 1. I'm Alex, and this is our conversational gaming show, a show that normally airs every other week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, where I talk about random gaming topics. Now, we had so many videos, so many Gamescast topics, and so many just E3 videos in general, leading into E3, talking about all these games that I had prayed. I had stayed awake in my bed all night, and I had said, I really need these games to get announced, or I really hope that they are announced. And we made all these videos talking about it, and now, and I'm going to use these Gamescast topics to kind of go back and re-examine these things, right? I made a video over the weekend talking about Harry Potter, just kind of saying, like, what the heck happened there? With this video, I want to do the same thing with Batman Arkham Crisis, Arkham Insurgency, whatever you want to call it, whatever that freaking Batman game is from Warner Bros. Montreal. I want to talk about it because, and I've talked about it at length, I've talked about it quite a bit, and I want to continue to talk about it because, one, I think it's a very popular topic, and you guys definitely like it, and I truly love the Batman Arkham games, so I'm a really big fan. I've played all 4 of them. I absolutely adore them. I think the Arkham trilogy, I think, is one of the best trilogies ever made, so I love Arkham to death. I will play the next Arkham. I will cover it to death. I cannot wait for it, but it's just absolutely maddening. I'd say Warner Bros. In general, their gaming division, Warner Bros. Gaming, or however, whatever it's pronounced, Warner Bros. Games, is an absolute joke. And I know they have their hands tied. I know they're doing a lot of different things. And I know I'm kind of kidding. They're not actually a joke, but their handling and what the announcement kind of process that goes on there needs to be fixed, because we have kind of the same problem we have with Harry Potter, and the problem is the publisher. The publisher is the same thing. Warner Bros. Has the studio working on this Harry Potter Magic Awakening game, and obviously Warner Bros. Montreal was tasked with making Arkham Origins, and now making 2 AAA games. We'll go over it one more time, because in case anybody missed it, 2 AAA games that studio is making. One of them is further in development than the other, and it's heavily rumored that the closest game to being done of those 2 games is in fact a Batman Arkham game. It could be Arkham Insurgency, and Arkham Crisis were both kind of leaked 2 years back to back. Crisis had a lot of the same features and story elements that Insurgency had, but with some things changed, so it's fair to speculate that it's some sort of mix between them with the Court of Owls and all of that stuff. So it was also rumored that they were making a Wonder Woman game, a Suicide Squad game, and they've had a lot of canceled games over the last 6-7 years, ever since Batman Arkham Origins. The thing is, another E3, and not just E3, another basically almost year at this point, half a year, has come and gone and no announcement. And it's like, you guys have to get things moving. When are these games going to come out? Harry Potter, Batman Arkham whatever from Warner Bros. Montreal, and the Rocksteady game, they're puzzling because they can't really all come out at the same time. I don't think they can pull a Bethesda and have their releases be within 2 weeks of each other. If you remember, and that's a funny thing, remember Bethesda did that back in 2017. They had Wolfenstein 2 and they had Evil Within 2. I think it was 2018. They had those 2 games released in the exact same year. No, it was 2017. It was like the second week of October and the last week of October. There was like 2 to 3 weeks in between 2 games that were both published by the same, huge studio in terms of Bethesda. Warner Bros. I don't think can be quite so stupid. I don't think they would do that. And the question is, they're running out of opportunities and time. All 3 of these games, I truly believe all 3 of these games have to be next generation game. This Harry Potter Magic Awakened, I think, needs to be next gen. And it has to be, otherwise we would have heard from it. This Batman game, I really feel like it could have been this console generation, but I feel like just with all of the delays, and I think that's what goes without saying, I think if their games didn't get delayed and they just made Arkham Origins and then made the next game, we would have probably gotten 2 games from Warner Bros. Montreal by now, and they both would have been out on this current generation, PS4, Xbox One. It's just so many things went wrong, and whose fault is that? You can't really point fingers because we don't know all the stories of what happened there, but obviously it's kind of tragic and it sucks what happened there. But that game, I feel like, needs to now be next year. Now, the question with that is, it's next year. Will it be spring next year, or will it be fall? And there's a huge difference between spring and fall. Spring, it seems like we got every single game that not only got delayed from the fall of 2019 into the spring of 2020, but just games in general that we're going to release in spring 2020. So many of these games are trying to get out ahead of the next generation of consoles. You really have 2 cycles of the gaming year. You have the springtime and you have the fall time. The fall fall of next year is going to be insane, because any game that really comes out, it's going to kind of be expected that it can be on both consoles. And I know they have backwards compatibility, but also the fact is you need to sell games on the next generation of consoles. So if you have a game, say like the Batman Arkham whatever, will it be on a PS4? Like if you go to Walmart or you go to Best Buy or GameStop or whatever, Amazon, will you see a box cover of the PS4 version and PS5 version? It's tough, and whatever games come out in that time are all going to have to deal with whatever the heck they have to do for that. Now, you have 3 of these massive games. Rocksteady's game, the Warner Bros. Montreal team, and also this Harry Potter game. They can't all come out at the same time, especially not Rocksteady's and Warner Bros. Montreal, because while I don't believe Rocksteady is making a Batman Arkham game, and we'll be talking about Rocksteady probably in the next Gamescast topic, while I don't believe that's going to happen, they're probably both going to be superhero related. I think Warner Bros. Montreal is an Arkham game, and I think Rocksteady's game is a Justice League kind of superhero game. So you can't have those games released, I think, within a month to 2 months of each other. You have to give it probably a 2-month break, and it's more than that. I truly believe it's more like a spring-fall. So if Rocksteady's game comes out in spring, say March, then Warner Bros. Montreal's game can't come out until, say, October. I feel like it has to be that big of a gap. And they're running out of time in terms of this console generation. And then if it goes to the next console generations, it's like, what the heck, guys? It's like Rocksteady for Batman Arkham Knight, it's been 4 years and we haven't seen anything from them. Warner Bros, it's been even longer, and it's been ridiculous with them, but obviously again with the delays. So they missed out. They missed out again on an opportunity. Will this game be announced like at the Game Awards? It's possible. It's the same thing like I said for the Harry Potter game. Warner Bros. Has a history with Jeff Keighley, with the Game Awards. They announced Arkham City back then, so it's possible. But you can only announce one, and that's another thing. The announcement. Can you really announce 2 of these games at the same time? I talked about that going in. Warner Bros. Is the publisher for Cyberpunk, so maybe because Cyberpunk was going, because it won so many Game of the Shows, they had Keanu Reeves go up, right? Keanu Reeves is in the game. They have a release date. It's such a huge game. Maybe that's the only thing Warner Bros. Wanted to focus on, and then maybe in August or September we get an announcement from them of a game from another one of their studios. That's possible, but I still think it's unlikely. But the thing is, with these 3 games, I don't think you can announce them all at once. I think if you announce Rocksteady's game, you can't also announce Warner Bros. Montreal, because I just feel like the stigma in the gaming world is like everybody's going to focus on the Rocksteady game, and you don't want to diminish how I think really cool the Warner Bros. Game. I think this Arkham game, Crisis Insurgency, is going to be an awesome game. Maybe one of the best Arkham games, if not the best Arkham game we've gotten. But that still doesn't matter, right? Because if they get announced at the same time, you kind of have to pick which one you want to put your focus in and kind of cover and really focus on, and then say, I really like this game. You can't do that with all 3. And Harry Potter, while yes, Harry Potter, Batman, they're different franchises, they're completely different in that way, they're still super, super big, and you don't want one to take away from the other. So not only do you have a juggling act in terms of releasing these 3 games, where you can't release them, I'd say 2, 3, 4 months apart. You have to give them that much of a room, but also the announcement for them, I feel like, needs to be 2, 3, 4 months apart. And there's only so many months in a year, there's only so many years in our lives that we want these games to come out in. So it's like, get a move on, guys. And I'm pretty passionate about this. I want this Arkham game, and it's just with every award show or convention or whatever, every missed opportunity of announcing this game is another, I'd say, 4, 5, 6 months from not only seeing the game but also getting the game in our hands. And I really want them. And I think a lot of people feel that way. I think so many leaks have come out about it, so many rumors have come out about what they're working on. It's like, just give us something. Give us a teaser, say 2020, say 2021, just so we know it exists and it's happening, and we can start to build up serious hype for this game, because we want it. Otherwise, at this point, we just keep getting a leak every 6, 7 months from them, and it just keeps going, and they don't deny it, but they don't confirm it, and they don't show us anything, so we just kind of are all sitting in our room saying, all right, well, one day it's going to happen, it's just when will it happen? That's kind of where we are for all 3 of those games, and I think they all 3 of them have their own unique problems, and they're all owned by Warner Bros. So I think they have some fixing to do. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about all about that. What did you think about Warner Bros. Montreal or this Batman game not being at E3? When do you think we'll see it? What do you think it is? And what are your hopes for the future for this franchise and really all these games in general? Let me know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel podcast now. Hit the bell icon because I talk about this kind of stuff quite often on the channel. And again, when these games do get announced and do actually come out, I will be covering it a ton on the channel. So if you guys like these games, if you guys like Harry Potter, Batman, Rocksteady games, all of these games, make sure you stay tuned to the channel because I'll cover them a ton. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.